So the lesson for today, we're going to learn how to graph with slope and y-intercept. Like I said, this is one of my favorite things to teach because it will be used all the way through Algebra 2 and college algebra. It's super easy. So let's get started. I'm missing my pen. Okay. In y equals mx plus b, the m is this number right here is the slope, and the b is the what? The y-intercept. So if you know the slope and the y-intercept, you can graph with it without using the y equals button or making a table. So that's what I'm going to teach you today. To find the m, you can use the slope formula or rise over, come on guys, rise over run, which is the same thing as the slope formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So these are the same formula. The rise is the change in y, the run is the change in x, yes? And the b is the y-intercept, which will always be found on the y-axis. It will always have an x value of 0, and then the y value is the y-intercept. This is also known as the starting point. So again, if you're given an equation in slope-intercept form, the easiest way to graph is with the slope and the intercept, okay? So let's get started. Before we start graphing, the first thing you need to be able to do is identify the slope and the y-intercept. So everybody look at this equation. Is it in slope-intercept form? Yes. So what is the slope? And if I want it as a rise over run, I would say 3 over 1. What is the y-intercept? 4. Now, go to this one. Is it in slope-intercept form? No. What form is this? Standard. Very good. Okay, so if I want the slope and the intercept, what do I have to do to it first? Rearrange it. So how would I get this 3x to the right side? Minus 3x. And whatever I do to the left, I got to do to the right. So it becomes y equals negative 3x plus 2. Is everybody okay with that? What is the slope? Negative 3 over 1. Now, we're not simplifying right now because we need a rise and a run. Okay? What is the y-intercept? Positive 2. All right. Is this equation in slope-intercept form? No. What form is it in? Standard. So what do I need to do? Rearrange it. How am I going to get this 4x to the other side? So I've got negative 2y equals negative 4x plus 20 because this 20 is positive. Yes? How would I get rid of the negative 2? Divide everything by negative 2. And then whenever I simplify, that's my slope and y-intercept. So this becomes y equals negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2x. And positive 20 divided by negative 2 is negative 10. What is my slope? 2. What is my y-intercept? Don't say 10. Negative 10. The sign in front of it gives the number the value. Since it's a minus sign, it is a negative number. Okay, now what we're going to do, now that we know how to identify the slope and y-intercept, we are going to graph using slope and y-intercept. Now, could you always go put this in y equals and just go make a graph out of a table? Yes, but I'm going to teach you there's an easier way, okay? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to identify the slope. What is the slope? 5 over 1. You want a rise and a run. The next thing you're going to do is identify the y-intercept. So the b is negative 3. Now, To graph this, you're going to graph the starting point first. So you're going to go to the y-axis and put a dot at -3. Yes? You're going to use your slope to rise and run to the next dot. So my rise is +5. Since it's positive, which way would I go? Up. So I'm going to put an up sign right here. My 1 is also positive, so which way would I go? Right. So I'm going to go up 5, right 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 1, and there will be a dot. I'm going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 1. And you can put as many dots that will fit on the graph. Now, would there also be some dots down here? Yes, there would. What also makes a positive? 2 negatives. So could I have also done -5 over -1? Is that the same slope? So instead of going up and right, I could also go down and left and end up on the same line. So down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, left 1, and do you see that it is falling on the same line? And then you connect your dots and put an arrow. What do y'all think? Pretty easy? Okay, let's look at the next one. Can I identify the slope looking at it in the form that it's in right now? No. So what do I need to do to this equation? Rearrange it. How would I move this 3x to the right? So I have -3y equals -3x plus 12. How would I get rid of this -3? Divide everything by -3. So I'm left with y equals -3 divided by -3 is +1, so 1x, and 12 divided by -3 is -4. So you could put plus -4, you could put -4. Now can I identify the slope and the y-intercept? So what is the m, the slope? 1 over 1. What is the b, the y-intercept starting point? -4. So where am I going to start? I'm going to put a dot on the y-axis at -4. Since my rise and run are both positive, I'm going to go up and right. Or, what other way could I go? Down and left, because down is negative, left is negative, and 2 negatives make a positive. So I could do it either way. So up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. Or down 1, left 1. And you don't have to do it across the entire graph. You just need enough dots to make a good line. Okay, flip to the back. What's the first thing I would need to do to this equation? Rearrange it. So how would I move this x to the right side? Subtract. Now, what coefficient is in front of this? A 1. You're going to want coefficients because you need a slope, right? So go ahead and put a 1 there. So I'm going to have 4y equals -1x plus 6. And then I'm going to divide everything by 4. So I'm left with y equals -1/4. I do not want a decimal for the slope because that's my rise and my run. Plus, now for my y-intercept, do you think I want a fraction or a decimal? I probably want a decimal because I got to go put it on the graph. So 6 divided by 4 is 1.5. So my m, my slope, is -1/4. Now you have to assign that negative to either the 1 or the 4. And we can do it either way, and I will show you all that. My y-intercept is? Okay. So far, I have assigned the 1, the negative. That means instead of rising up, I'm going to go down. And the run is positive, so I would go right. Now, if I did it the other way and did 1 positive and 4 negative, then instead of going down, I'm going to go up and left. Would that all end up on the same line? Yes. So that's why they work. Okay, so I'm going to start on the y-axis at 1.5. Now, since it's not numbered, could I count by 0.5s? Yeah, but I'm just gonna count by 1. So here's 1.5 right here. Everybody there? I'm gonna go down 1, right 4. So here's where I'm at. I'm gonna go down 1, right here, right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna go down 1, right 4, down 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go back to my y-intercept, and instead of going down and right, I want to go up and left. So up 1, left 4. Is it falling on the same line? Yes. When you're doing this, if you can fit 3 dots on your graph, I want 3 dots. If you can only fit 2, then 2 will be sufficient. But you have to have 3 dots if you can fit them. Okay? All right, y'all want to try this one on your own? How did we do? Good? Easy? Okay, I'm about to move on, so finish it up. Okay, on the next page, we're going to look at when we graph parallel lines. Now, we have talked about this when we were solving equations. Who can tell me what they remember? Parallel lines will have the same... What will parallel lines have that's the exact same? How do we know they're parallel? They have the same slope. So everybody look at this one. Y equals 2x plus 3. What's the slope? 2. Can you see the slope on this one? No, you got to go solve for it by dividing by 2. So I have y equals 2x plus 3. How do I know these will have... Oh, y'all hold on. Let's change, because I don't want it to be the same line. Change that 6 to an 8. Pretend it was different, because I don't want it to be the same line. I want it to be parallel. So this is going to be a 4. Okay. How do I know they're parallel lines and not the same line? Their slopes are the same, but their y-intercepts are different. So here I'm going to graph y equals 2x plus 4, and I'm also going to graph y equals 2x plus 3. Because their slopes are the same, they will be parallel lines. Now, I like to graph each line in a different color. If you want to do that, that's fine. Here, my slope is 2 over 1, and my y-intercept is 4. So I'm going to go graph this one first by starting at the 4. I'm going to go up 2 and right 1. Or down 2 and left 1. And I'm going to put a line through it. And then we're going to go graph the next one by starting at the 3 and still going up 2 and right 1. Or down 2 and left 1. They're really, really close together, but they are parallel, meaning they will never touch. All right, let's look at the next one. I have 2 equations to graph. The first one is ready for me to graph, so I'm just going to go ahead and graph it. What's the slope? 4 over. And what's the y-intercept? 8. So I'm going to start at the 8. Now, do you think I'm going to get a lot of dots going up and right? No. So which way should I go? Down and left. So I'm going to do down 4, left 1. And that gave me enough dots. Now I need to go do the other equation, but I need to rearrange it first by adding the 8x. So I have 2y equals 8x plus 10. How am I going to get rid of the 2? Divide everything by 2. And I'm left with y equals 4x plus 5. What is my slope? 4 over. What is my y-intercept? 5. Why are they going to be parallel? Because their slopes are the same. Their y-intercepts are different. So I'm going to start on the y-axis at 5. I'm going to go up and right. So up 4, right 1. Can I do any more going up and right? So instead, I'm going to have to go back to this dot and go down and left. So down 4, left 1. Okay, on the back we're going to look at a word problem. They gave you 2 functions. What can you tell me by looking at the functions right away? They have the same slope, therefore they will be parallel lines. Okay, it says, based on the graphs, so what do I need to go do? I need to go graph them. I'm going to do this one in red, so I need an M and a B. What's the B? 300. What's the M? 150 over 1. So I'm going to go start on the y-axis at 300. I am going to go up 150, right 1. What are they counting by on the rise? 100. So I'm going to go up 150, so it would be right here, just it's 1.5 spots, and right 1. Wait, I only went up, did I go up 150? Yeah. I'm going to go up 150, right 1. So you're going up 1.5 squares, because 1 square is 100. The run is counting by 1, so you're good. Okay, and then I'm going to connect those dots. Is this going to be a line or a ray? So I need arrows both ways? No, why not? What are we talking about at the bottom? Numbers of airings. You can't have a negative number of airings, okay? Okay, right here I need an M, which is 150 over 1 again, but the y-intercept this time is 400. So I'm going to start at the 400. I'm still going to go up 1.5 squares and write 1. Okay, and then let's answer the question. It says, based on the graphs, what is the difference of the cost to produce each commercial and air it 2 times and 4 times? Well, you could either use the graph or you could plug 2 in for N. And then plug in 4 for N. It's either way. I would just plug it in. So for this one, I would say 150 times 2 plus 300, and then I'm going to compare that to 150 times 2 plus 400. I basically plug 2 in for each equation. I'm going to solve it, and I'm going to see what the difference is. So this one is $600. And this one is $700. So what is